Welcome to the Service Industry Podcast. I've spent the last decade as a CEO, operator, and business builder selling tens of millions of dollars in products and services. I, just like many of you, started with nothing. My mission for this podcast is to help you become the greatest version of yourself, help you grow and scale your business, and create the life you've always dreamed of. I'm your host, Matt Smith. Enjoy the episode. What is going on, guys? Matt here from the Service Industry Podcast, back from the dead. I am still alive, still doing well. I took a little bit of a break from the podcast here, not honestly just from you guys, but I haven't even listened to podcasts in a few months, and it's because I've been slam busy. We're building businesses over here. We're doing what I talk about on a daily basis. And I think today's episode is going to be really valuable for you guys as I'm talking about how the basics still produce millions. And I can confidently say that because I've done it. We launched a roofing business here back in May. This month, we will hit 7 figures in sales. So our first 5 months in business with a brand that didn't exist, nobody knew about, and we're going to do $1 million in our first 5 months. And so I'm going to chat about that a little bit. Also been ridiculously busy with all of our print marketing and coaching clients. Everybody is trying like heck to get things done before fall, because fall, for those of you that don't know it, spring and fall are 2 of the best times of years in the home service business space, regardless of where you're at. And honestly, if you're not pushing hard right now, then I don't know what you're doing. So as you guys know, if you need any print marketing help or you want to do one-on-one coaching with me, the link is always in the show notes for that, or you can go to serviceindustrycoach.com. So let's talk about this a little bit today, because I want to talk about how the basics still produce millions, okay? I love that title because I just want to rip apart all of the online internet gurus that try to make everything sound so hard and so complicated in order for you to build a 7 and 8 figure business, because it is not complicated. It is very basic, but there are some things that you have to do in order to make it work. And so I think as business owners, we have this myth about complexity, right? We think that in order to be successful, in order to grow something big, something unique, something that most people don't build, it has to be done in a way that's really complicated. And I want to challenge your beliefs on that, because I actually think it's the quite opposite. I think if you want to build something really big, it has to be something basic that is repeatable and scalable. I was chatting with a roofing business owner the other day. This would have been probably 2 weeks ago. And his business does $70 million a year in roofing. They've got a couple locations. And he said, Matt, if you were in my shoes and you had a $70 million roofing business, what would you do to continue to grow? And my answer was simple. It was, listen, you don't get to 70 million in sales on accident. There's something that you guys have done that is working. Scale that, okay? Don't reinvent the wheel. Scale what's already working in your business because you figured it out. And so he was like, honestly, that was like the best answer you could have given me. Right? Because sometimes we think that we're missing something. We think that there's something more complex we have to figure out in order to get to the next level, when oftentimes it's that we actually just need to scale the basics. We need to scale what's already working. And when you do that, the business grows. And so what are the basics? And I know there's a lot of different types of business owners on here, and this really goes for all business owners, period, but I'm speaking to home service business owners specifically right now, is what are the basics that you need to figure out? And in each one of these categories, you can deep dive the heck out of it, right? But like category 1 is lead generation. You've got to figure out how to generate leads. So that's one thing you need to become obsessed with, okay? Keep in mind, you're never going to hear me say, become obsessed with what kind of shingle your company installs. You're never going to hear me say, become obsessed with what zero turn your company just bought. You're never going to hear me say that. Because without leads, none of that matters. By the way, none of it matters anyway, but especially without leads, none of that matters. So the first thing is we've got to figure out how to generate leads for our business, because a business without leads is dead. All right. So that can be anything, right? That could be yard signs, direct mail, Google, Facebook, a million different things, magazine shoppers, newspapers, radio, TV. Like, pick your 2, 3, 4 levers that you've mastered, figured out, understand, and trust, right? You've got data behind it, and scale those. So number one thing you have to master is leads. That's a basic, right? Basic number 2, sales. What are we doing with these customers once we get them? Like once we get a lead that comes in, we have to understand how to sell them. Because if we can't sell them, we can't collect money, right? So leads are great, got to have them, but we also got to be able to sell the leads that we get. So do you have a sales framework inside of your business? If not, why? So for our roofing business, we have a very specific sales framework that we go by on every single appointment. Now be careful. Don't hear me say we're used car salesmen and we sell people things they don't need. That's not what I'm saying. Okay. In fact, I would argue that by having a sales framework that gets used on every single job, the customer actually gets serviced at a higher level, because I understand the customer's needs better than any of my competitors that are sitting down with them that are shooting from the hip. All right. I saw a local business owner the other day post, our roofing company, no sales gimmicks, no blah, blah, blah. It's like, dude, you're trying to like spout and be proud that you don't have a framework for anything. You're stupid. That doesn't even make sense to me. So what you're actually saying is like, hey, we just show up to the customer's house and we just kind of shoot from the hip and we just do whatever's best for the customer. It's like, you don't even know what's best for the customer, because if you had a sales framework where you asked the right questions so you could actually figure out the pain points for the customer, then you would be able to service them at the highest level. So having a sales framework is not being a used car salesman and selling people things they don't need. That's not it at all. It's in fact the exact opposite. It's understanding the customer's needs so you can service them at the highest level possible. And in return, they want to do business with you because they know that you understand their direct needs. Okay. So you got to have lead generation mastered. You got to have sales mastered. And the third thing, and final thing, this is the basics, you guys. You've got to be able to fulfill on the promises you make to the customer. So your fulfillment for your products or services has to be on point. This is where your reviews come from. Very, very seldom do you get reviews that are like, oh man, ABC Plumbers, their sales guy was amazing, right? But they don't talk about what actually happened when the plumber came out and did the work, right? Most reviews are all about the fulfillment. And so understanding that, yes, I need leads. Yes, I need to be able to sell them, but I have to be able to fulfill on the promises I make to the customer at the highest level possible so they have an amazing customer experience. So when they go and leave that review, that is what they're remembering. Those are the 3 things. It's not hard. It's not complex. Okay? We got to break it down. How do I get more leads? Become obsessed with that. How do I sell the leads I get? Become obsessed with that. And how do I fulfill and make an amazing customer experience? You guys, you master those 3 things. You build a 7 and 8 figure business. Every time, any market, I don't care what year it is, don't care what the economy looks like, it just works. Okay? So like for us in our roofing business, we've done this exact thing. And in 5 months, this month specifically, we're going to hit $1 million in revenue, our very first 5 months. Now, when I first started my very first home service business, I didn't know any of this. I could have never done that. But because for the last decade, I've become obsessed with learning about the boring stuff, I can now start new businesses, implement these things in day 1, and then the business scales quickly. That should be motivation in itself enough for you to stop focusing on the stuff that doesn't matter. And, most people don't stick to the basics. It's just the reality of it. They just don't stick to the basics. They want overnight results. They have no patience. Okay. They love chasing new trends, new technology, right? They've got that shiny object syndrome. They do it for a week. They stop. No consistency. They think it won't like make them look fancy enough or advanced enough. And, it's like a fear of being too simple or something. I really don't know. Like, I'm proud that my business that's scaling very quickly right now is extremely simple. Like, when I hop on a call with someone and they're like, what are you doing, dude, to get so many leads? And then I tell them, they're just like, is there anything else? It's like, no, it's just that at scale, right? So it's like, like, for example, they're like, well, I put out yard signs too. It's like, cool. How many did you put out in the last 30 days? They're like, what's your goal for the next 30 days? Like, we're going to get out 40. It's like, cool. We're getting out 500. Okay. Which is another thing that, Alex Hormozi talks about this a lot, is that people just massively underestimate the volume that needs to be done in order to build a successful business. And that's something that I had to learn. It was like, dude, you're not going to get the results you want putting out 50 yard signs a month. You're going to have to put out 500 yard signs a month. You're not going to get the results you want by sending 1,000 pieces of direct mail. You got to send 20,000 pieces of direct mail a month. Like, the volume game is massive. And you guys have heard me talk about that a lot on here. And Alex Hormozi tells that beautiful story when he was building his gym about the guy that essentially used to go door to door and leave door hangers on front doors and I think under the windshield wipers of cars. And it would have an offer on it for the gym. And Alex was like, I'm going to try it. And he went out and put out 300 of them and got no results. He's like, this stuff doesn't work. And I laugh because I can hear people that I do coaching with or that buy marketing from us or call me or email me in regards to marketing stuff. And they're like, Matt, print marketing doesn't work. Direct mail doesn't work. And I just laugh. So I'm like, well, what'd your postcard look like? They send it to me. I'm like, well, that's why. How many did you send? They tell me. I'm like, that's why, right? The same example for Alex. He's like, I did 300. I got no calls. The guy's like, dude, I test with 5,000. And then we do 50,000 a month with our winners. So volume matters. But even more important than volume is consistency. Doing the same thing every single day, month over month over month is boring as F. It's boring, dude, which is also why people don't stick to the basics because they're like, I'm bored. This isn't what I signed up for. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm an innovator. I'm going to reinvent the wheel. It's like, bro, you cut grass. You're not reinventing anything. Dude, you spray water on houses and wash houses. You're not reinventing anything. You put roofs on. You're not reinventing anything. And that's the beautiful part. You don't have to. And honestly, that's why I love the home service business space so much and why so many of these PE companies are coming in and buying up these especially high ticket home service businesses is because they're not being affected by AI, especially essential home service businesses that your roof is leaking, it has to get done. Your furnace goes out, it has to get replaced. Those are the companies people are buying up right now. Why? Because they're simple. Okay? The people that are good at business, that are wealthy, that know how to make money, they chase simple businesses. The only person that makes a business complex is somebody who does not understand business. Okay? So I would say all that to say, when you start to feel like I'm bored, that's good. That means that things are simple. They're probably running smooth. I like that. Keep going. Scale it up. Period. All right? So this is how we kind of do this. Andy Frisella talks about a power list. If you guys are like, well, Matt, where do I start? Power list. I love this idea of, I think Andy says write down 5 things every day that move the needle in the business that have to get done every day. Okay. You can write this on a scrap piece of paper, put it in your truck. I don't care, but I want you looking at it and you're going to write it down every day. So that could be I need to get out 20 yard signs a day. I need to get out 50 door hangers a day. I need to make 20 cold calls a day. Whatever your thing is, whatever moves the needle in your business. And every day, that's all you do until you complete that list. And at the end of the day, if nothing else good happened, at least you know you did the core things, the basic things in your business that are going to get you from where you're at to where you want to go. And I promise, Okay? Without a shadow of a doubt, I know this to my core. If you actually do that and you actually fulfill on it every single day, okay? Not every other, not twice a week, not every day for 3 weeks, every single day. Your life 1 year from now will look so different, you will not even recognize yourself or your business. But here's the problem. Most people, almost all of them, are unwilling to do anything for an extended period of time. And that is why oftentimes you don't see the smartest guy win. You see the guy who was willing to put the work in the longest win. So even if he didn't have the best marketing, even if he didn't have the best ideas, even if he didn't have the most complex business, he woke up every day and he did it again and again and again. And guess what? He won, right? That's why sometimes you meet people that are like really well off and you go, dude, how? I'm so much smarter than that guy. Like we've probably all had that moment, right? You're like, how is that guy so rich, dude? How did he make that? Because he was just a bulldog, just every day, even though he wasn't that smart, even though he wasn't that talented. Hard work beats talent, and it's just the truth. So, quick final takeaway from this is just understanding that the basics will produce you the business that will change your life. Period. Simplicity scales. Okay? Do not chase trends. Quit chasing the next shiny piece of software that's going to get your customers to be raving fans of yours and make money off referrals. And all. Dude, what if you just actually put your energy into things that generate leads that you know it works? I don't get it. Okay, like the business making millions in 2025, right now, they're doing simple things. And honestly, a lot of them are doing the same things that you're doing, just at a bigger scale and more consistent. Okay? I wanted to make this because that's us right now. We're not doing anything fancy, nothing groundbreaking, right? People are like, oh, the retail market's so down right now. Dude, you guys understand that like when people say the market's down, when people say like people aren't spending money, oh, my sales are down, or like I'm not closing as many deals, that is the perfect time to go scale because most of your competitors are pulling back on marketing spend. And this is your opportunity to go grab a bunch of market share. Because when things get just a little hard, that's when companies start to freak out. They hold on to cash. They stop marketing. And the reason they do that is because they don't know how to generate leads. They don't have a sales framework and they're not fulfilling on their promises. Okay? Or they're like, I fulfill on my promises. Cool. Well, you still don't know how to generate leads and how to close deals. So that's great. You can fulfill on promises, but you got no promises to fulfill on because you didn't master the first two things, right? Or it's like, dude, I know how to generate leads and close deals, but you don't fulfill on the work. So people don't like your business. They leave bad reviews. You suck at what you do. You can't have one or the other. It's got to be all three, and they're basic, but you got to change your mindset. Chase simplicity. Chase the basics. And when you do that, I'm telling you guys, you're going to win. I love you guys. There's going to be some changes to the podcast coming up. We are rebranding, okay? So when you see it's our new brand's called the 7% Podcast. And the story behind that is that less than 7% of home service businesses ever hit $1 million a year in revenue. That's a real stat. So my goal is to help people build 7-figure businesses. So we're calling it the 7% Podcast. Because I would love to see that statistic change or be a tiny, tiny part of helping people get to that level that most people don't get to. So when you see it pop up on your phone, or if you have not subscribed, subscribe. But you might see the artwork change and the name change. Still me. We're just rebranding, and we're going to be changing things up a bit, and I think you're going to love it. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Go get them. Thank you for listening to this episode of the podcast. As always, if you need any help marketing your business or want to work with me directly doing one-on-one coaching, visit serviceindustrycoach.com. We'll see you on the next episode.